Black Myth WuKong was one of the most anticipated games of the year, but now that it's out, there's a lot to unpack. On the surface, it's a stunning game with incredible visuals and a fascinating premise based on Chinese mythology. However, as the excitement fades, many are starting to question whether it truly lives up to the hype or if it's just another overrated title in the ever-growing world of video games. The story of Black Myth WuKong centers around the legendary Monkey King, a character from the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. This tale is rich with adventure, mythical creatures, and profound themes, making it a perfect backdrop for a video game. In the game, you take on the role of the Monkey King, battling through a dark, mystical world filled with enemies and challenges. But while the story has the potential to be epic, the way it's presented in the game feels lacking. The narrative is often disjointed, leaving players more confused than captivated. Instead of a deep, engaging tale, what we get is a series of loosely connected events that don't quite come together in a satisfying way. One of the main points of controversy surrounding Black Myth WuKong has been the reaction from Western media outlets like IGN and Screen Rant. While some have praised the game for its visuals and ambitious scope, others have been more critical, pointing out its flaws and questioning whether it deserves all the attention it's been getting. Some critics argue that the game's focus on style over substance is a major drawback. Sure, it looks great, but what about the gameplay? What about the story? These are important elements that seem to have taken a backseat in favor of impressive graphics. This brings us to the gameplay itself. Black Myth WuKong has been compared to other big titles like God of War, Dark Souls, and Lost Soul aside. This game set a high bar when it comes to action, storytelling, and world building. Unfortunately, Black Myth WuKong doesn't quite reach that level. Another issue is the world design. Black Myth WuKong was marketed as an expansive, immersive world to explore, but in reality it feels more linear than expected. The exploration is limited, and while the world is visually beautiful, it doesn't offer much in terms of interaction or discovery. This is a stark contrast to the open, richly detailed worlds in games like God of War and Dark Souls, where every corner of the map holds secrets, challenges, and rewards. The controversy doesn't stop there. The game has also sparked discussions about its portrayal of Chinese culture and mythology. While many appreciate the focus on these themes, others feel that the game's Western reception has been influenced by a lack of understanding of the source material. Some Western critics have been quick to dismiss the game's narrative and cultural elements, which has led to debates about whether these criticisms are fair or if they stem from a broader cultural disconnect. So, is Black Myth WuKong really worth it? That depends on what you're looking for in a game. If you're drawn to stunning visuals and the idea of playing as the Monkey King, you might find a lot to enjoy here. However, if you're looking for a game with deep, engaging gameplay and a compelling story, you might be disappointed. The game feels like a missed opportunity in many ways. It could have been a groundbreaking title that set a new standard for action RPGs, but instead it falls short in several key areas. In conclusion, Black Myth WuKong is a game that had a lot of potential, but ultimately doesn't live up to the enormous hype surrounding it. The visuals are stunning, but when you dig deeper, the game's flaws become more apparent. The story is underwhelming, the gameplay is repetitive, and the world, while beautiful, lacks depth. The controversy surrounding its reception in the Western world only adds to the complexity of its legacy. While it's not a bad game by any means, it's hard to shake the feeling that it could have been so much more. Enjoyed the review? Hit subscribe for more game insights and stay tuned for our next breakdown.